Hey guys, this is Rise, and I'm here to bring you my first ever StarCraft 2 beta commentary. Now, this isn't actually my first ever, but it is my first that I could actually publish. I actually did a couple a while ago, but the players that I did them up, one of them decided he didn't want them released in case someone stole his strategies. So, sorry about that, but what am I going to do? I got to respect their wishes if I'm ever going to get replays from them in the future. So, anyway, I have some replays from someone who is willing to give me some of them, and that guy is none other than Az. Probably a guy you've never heard of. It's not AHZZ Az, or however he spells his name. It's AZZ Az. And so it's a different Az from the one that's from Europe. I think this guy's also from Europe, but again, still not the same one. And he's a protoss player on StarCraft 2. So basically what I'm looking to do is commentate a couple of his replays that he sent me. And believe it or not, this one is against none other than IdrA. Yes, you guys should know IdrA by now. He's the only foreigner still in Korea working in the pro scene of StarCraft 1. And obviously he's trying out StarCraft 2 at this point. And the thing is, he's in the same boat as everybody else, trying to figure out the best strategies. While granted, he probably has some of the best mechanics, he doesn't necessarily have the best strategy or game sense or gameplay or unit sense or any of that yet, because the game at this point is only like 5 days old in terms of beta, closed beta that people have had the opportunity to play. So now, there's a whole crap ton of things that I got to talk about in these replays. First off, I'm in the first-person view of Az at the moment, and I could switch to IdrA's first-person view. So as you see me switching back and forth and moving around, it's actually going to be their first-person views unless you see me unclick this player camera here. So just a couple of logistical things to get out of the way in case you were wondering how things are being controlled. Right now we're looking at IdrA's first-person view, and you can see right away he's using the Chrono Boost ability on his Nexus, as is Az, for that matter. Now, that's an ability that Protoss have in order to speed up the building of units. You can't speed up the building of buildings, but you can speed up the building of anything that's being either researched or built. If that's a little confusing, you'll get the hang of it in a little bit. Right now, he's increasing the speed at which he's being able to make his probes, and I'm going to unlock the first-person view for a second here. You can see the entire map, everyone's view, and you can see that IdrA, again, see, he can't use it on the building that's warping in, which would be really unfair if you think of it, because you could rush tech like crazy. But instead, he's just going to use it on building probes quicker for now. You could use it to build zealots faster from your gateways, but you can't actually make buildings faster. Gotta clarify that, because that's a very popular question for people to ask. Anyway, we're seeing both these players going for the first of their tech buildings. These are the gateways over here that IdrA's making, so you can see what the new gateways look like. And this is a cybernetics core, so the beginnings of tech is the same. But you're going to find out that there are a lot of differences right away that we have to start talking about. And IdrA's got one gas so far, and you can see that all the bases in StarCraft 2 actually have 2 gas. The reason being is you only take 4 gas at a time from your geyser. It's absurd. That's why they give you 2. I'm not entirely sure why, but that's how they do it. For that matter, the minerals only yield 5 per probe. Now, it's a little different if you have a mule, but this is a PvP, so we're not going to get into mules right now. That is a Terran unit, and we'll talk about that when the time comes. It looks like IdrA has built his first unit, a Sentry. A Sentry is a very interesting unit with a lot of different abilities. The most popular of which is Force Field and Guardian Shield. Force Field is kind of like a stasis that you can use to block a certain area, but it doesn't catch units. It only blocks a area, so you can use it to block a ramp. Also, you can see the type of attack they have. It's a weak-ass ranged attack that doesn't really do all that much. So, really, they're primarily used as utility units. It's almost like an early Arbiter, weak version of an Arbiter that doesn't cloak units. But it does also have this Guardian Shield that basically, you'll see later, I'm sure, puts up a big bubble around your units to make them stronger. Az, on the other hand, has opted to go for quick Zealots. Now, Zealots, unfortunately for Zealots, they're a pain in the ass to micro. And you can see, by the way, he is chrono boosting his gateway to make these Zealots faster. So instead of like 40 seconds to make a Zealot, it takes somewhere like 25. It's ridiculous. Obviously, that's going to play a large role in 1v1s as we go forward in PvP. Now, you can use all your chrono boosts for your economy, or if you need to, you can save some up to pump out units faster. IdrA is now teching up to a robotics facility. It looks like he hasn't upgraded anything at a cybernetics core quite yet. And looks like Az has already got his robotics facility well underway and already building the first of his units, an Immortal. Now, I am going at the fast speed. I know it's a little slower than what they can go at. I can go at fastest if I wanted, by faster. But really, at this point in time, there's just so much to talk about. For the first game, I'm going to do it as fast. I hope you guys don't mind too much. Anyway, IdrA is making his first unit from his robotics, and that's going to be an Observer. Now, that's a very good thing to use as you wait for your robotics support beta warp in, if he happens to be making one, which it looks like he is not quite yet. So he just wants to get some tactical information at this point, and there's the Observer right there. Now, we can actually go back to switching to the player view of IdrA, and you can see what he's looking at right now. Or we can, oh, there we go. Now I got it right. Sorry, I'm a little new in the controls here. You know, I've played a bunch of games actually, so I do actually know a little bit of what I'm talking about. But at the same time, I'm still learning a lot of the controls. So anyway, it looks like we have the first of the Immortals out, as well as an Observer at this point for both players. IdrA not making anything out of his gateway, out of his robotics, except for another Observer, it would appear. I don't know if he's got two or not. Yeah, he does have two. So he's got this one over here already checking out what's going on inside of Az's base, and he's going to get a good eyeful of the units. He's probably going to go look for an expansion. Yeah, you can actually see the waypoint that he set to check to see first if any units are coming his way. Second, he'll intercept them with his Observer. And third, then he'll find out if he's making a expansion, which he is not. But still, very important information for him to know. As on the other hand, pumping units out. Let's start using some of this. The tools that they give us as commentators. We can see that IdrA, not too surprisingly, Az, somewhat surprisingly, is ahead in terms of his income. Now, income is like a 50-day moving average in the stock market. It's not telling you exactly what's coming in at the exact moment, but it's telling you a good idea of what he's getting over a period of time. So higher income in general is obviously higher income. I don't know how else to say it. If we want to see instantaneous resources, we look at this bar here. And we can see IdrA actually has higher instantaneous resources, and that's because, actually I don't know why that is. I thought he already had his expansion up, but he doesn't quite yet. But you can see this is going to bounce back and forth. So really, this is a less telling tale than the income tab tells you. Let's go back to the view of everyone, and we'll see what's going on in general. It looks like both players, this is very common in Starcraft too, kind of building up an army, protecting your ramp. In this case for IdrA, his expansion. Now we can see a very big divergence in this mirror matchup already. And IdrA has started to use the warp gate technology. I love this. This is probably the coolest thing about PvP or protoss in general. You can make your gateways into these warp gates, which allows you to basically see these units right now. They're on cooldown. When they're off cooldown, you can basically warp them in like a 5-second time period at any pylon. So anywhere in this range. And the first of the cool units, the Colossus. Yes, here it is. Probably my favorite, no, definitely my favorite unit of the Protoss race. By far the coolest unit you can have. And you can see he's warping in units, and now